Okay, shalom. Can everybody hear me? All right, I'm bringing this uh, lesson here from my cell phone, so I don't know how it's going to work out. Uh, I'm doing this from a remote location. So as you can see, Hosea 4:6, examining Hosea 4:6. All right, that's what I wanted to share. Uh, wanted to share something, and I was going to share this with Brother Jarvis Smith because he had actually posted Hosea 4:6 earlier, and we got into a little discussion. We got into a little discussion and about Hosea 4:6, and I wanted to go ahead and do a lesson, a brief lesson on that. Bring it out more and more. Okay, shalom, brother. Shalom, brother Herman, Elder Boyce. Okay, good to see all of you. All right, let me see. I'm looking for Brother Jarvis Smith. All right, shalom. Shalom, Brother Vernon. Good to see you. Good to see all of you. Shalom, Kana. Okay, now, I'm at Hosea 4:6 right now, and we'll see how the battery holds up on this phone. All right. All right, Hosea 4:6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me, seeing you have forgotten the law of your Elohim. I will also forget your children." As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. Okay, so what the Ruach HaKodesh is saying through Hosea is that because they rejected the information from Yah, that uh, he was going to reject us. We know that that happened. And then he said also that he would forget our children. Because if you go and look at, what is it? I believe it is Exodus 20. It talks about how Yah visits the iniquities of the parents down on the children down to the third and fourth generation of them that hate him. So when parents don't teach Yah's instructions to their children, then Abba Yah visits the iniquity, passes that on, the lawlessness of the parents onto the children. There's a lot of that's what we see. That's what we see a lot of times uh, here in America when we hear about young people being uh, killed in various ways. That's really what's going on. Okay, just to bring it into context of the scripture. But one of the things I was sharing with Brother Jarvis is that when they see the law of your Elohim, we have to remember when this Hosea 4:6 was being written, they were under the what you call they were under the Levite priesthood and the ordinances of the Levite priesthood. Is that correct? All right. Now I'm going to bring, let's see. I'm going to bring, uh, let's see. I just want to see if I bring somebody on camera, I'm going to bring you on to see. I've really been looking for Brother Jarvis Smith. We were going to do this live together, but I don't see him yet. And what happened is I couldn't hear him. You could hear me, but I couldn't hear. You could hear me, but I couldn't hear him. Okay, even though I shared the screen with him. All right. So now, what we have to keep in mind when he says, because you have forgotten the law of your Elohim. Okay, there of course it says God, but we don't like to use the word God because we want to be specific. And we're talking, there's only one Elohim, the Most High, Yah. Okay? Father, Son, Ruach HaKodesh, the royal Elohim family. Now, when you look at this, and if this is read in, let's say your camps or one of those type of places, right away, they will automatically start thinking about Levite ordinances. And they will use a scripture like this to try to, as evidence, to try to prove that you and I are supposed to wear fringes. But what they're not considering and what they're not keeping in view is the fact that this was written at a time when our people were still under the what? The Levite priesthood and their ordinances. Okay, let's see. Brother Jarvis is here now. I'm gonna bring you on camera, brother, to see what happens. All right, I'm adding you. And it says that it says it is adding you. Let's see if we can hear you this time. Okay, while it's adding, I'm going to continue. All right, so what we have to keep in mind is that when the word here says in Hosea 4:6, because you have forgotten the law. What's another word for law? Commandments or instructions of your Elohim. I will also forget your children. Well, we have to remember, but what covenant are we under? Can somebody answer? Are we under the Levite priesthood, or are we under the Messianic priesthood? Which one? Can somebody post that? Which priesthood and what instructions are we under? Okay, because I'm getting ready to go to Hebrews 7, verse 12. I'm getting ready to go to Hebrews 7, verse 12. Okay? And we're going to look at Hebrews 7, verse 12. Because you have to remember that Jeremiah, okay, thank you, brother, Messianic. Okay, so I guess we'll just do it like this, Brother Jarvis. You can respond by, can't hear you, you can respond by texting, okay? Thank you. All right, so we're under the Messianic, right? Okay, so can we prove this? Actually, I could go to Isaiah 42, verse 9. I could go to Daniel 9, verse 24. Let me go into the Tanakh. Let me go into the prophets first. Okay, now remember, I was going to Hebrews 7, verse 12. Okay, all right, brother, that's cool. Okay, all right, that's okay, that's cool. Now, okay, it's extremely hot where I am, and I'm getting messages on my phone that The phone is having difficulty because of the heat, but I'm going to try to continue on, okay? Now, going to Daniel, let's see what we got. Daniel, we'll go to Daniel, and we're going to look at something in Daniel chapter 9. Okay, brother, that's okay. Hey, brother, that's okay. Look, we all have been on milk. Okay? All right, that's no problem, brother. You don't have to apologize. Okay, now, Daniel 9, verse 24. Okay, it says 70 weeks. This is the angel Gabriel speaking to Daniel the prophet, giving him some information that Yah told him to bring to him. 70 weeks are remaining and have been determined upon your people Israel and upon the holy city to finish transgression, to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation because of lawlessness, and to bring in an everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand, Daniel, that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem and the temple, by the way, unto the coming of Messiah, the Prince of Peace, shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks. The street leading to the temple shall be rebuilt again, and the wall will be rebuilt of the temple will be rebuilt even in troubling times. After 62 weeks shall Messiah. Okay? Now, somebody will tell you that Messiah is not mentioned in the prophets, the law and the prophets, but here's the cut right here. Here's a cut. And after 62 weeks, Messiah will be killed. Messiah will be crucified, but not for himself. Right. He was crucified. He became the sacrificial lamb for Israel, for us, all that receive him. He did not have any sins. So that's why it says, but not for himself. Okay. And the people of the Roman prince at that time shall come with his armies and destroy Jerusalem and the sanctuary or the temple, and the end thereof shall be, and the end thereof, the end of that war, the Hebrew-Roman war, will be with a great flood or destruction. And to the end of the war there shall be a destruction. Unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And Messiah shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And he did. He did confirm the new covenant for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease or stop. So that means no more animal sacrifice, no more fringe wearing, no more vain oblations. Okay? The oblations to cease for the overspreading of abominations committed by the Levite priest and the Hebrew people. Yah will make an end of their priesthood. Okay? And until the consumption, there are desolations have been determined. Okay? Now, I wanted to show you that to show you that even Daniel knew the Messiah was coming and that he was going to establish an everlasting covenant. So go back and read that again. Daniel 9:24 through 27. Okay? Now I'm going to Hebrews 7, verse 12. I'm going to Hebrews 7, verse 12, and then I'm going to Matthew chapter 5. I'm moving quickly because I don't know how much battery power or how long this live is going to stay up. I am broadcasting from a cell phone. Okay? Now, I'm going to Hebrews 7. Now, I'm going to Hebrews 7. Okay? Now, remember, this is examining Hosea 4:6. Now, I'm going to Hebrews. I'm almost there. Hebrews 7. Hebrews 7. Hebrews 7. All right. 7, I'm going to read one verse. For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law or the instructions. You see that? Okay, now remember that. Write that down. Hebrews chapter 7, verse 12. For the priesthood being changed. What was it changed from to what? What was the priesthood? What was the priesthood changed from and to? Can Jarvis, can you post that, please? What was it changed from and what is it changed to? You already said one of the answers earlier. Okay? It was changed from the Levite priesthood and their ordinances or laws or instructions to messianic, the messianic instructions. Okay? Where is that? Matthew 5. Matthew 5, verse 27, verse 32. Okay, my phone is overheating because I'm in some very, very warm temperatures right now. So this may shut down. Just know that I will resume. If this phone shuts down, I will resume. Okay? Now, let's see. Where are we? I said I'm going to Matthew 5, right? If you look at Matthew 5, verse 27. If you look at Matthew 5, verse 27, Yeshua speaking, saying, you have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not commit adultery. Okay? Now he says this over and over again. You have heard that it was said. In verse 32, he said, verse 31, excuse me, it have been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a right in divorcement. Okay? Verse 21, you have heard that it was said by them of old time. Who was it that you heard say these things of old time? The Levite priests. But then he says, but I, your Messiah, say unto you. Okay? That goes right along with what we read in Hebrews 7, verse 12. But I, your Messiah, say unto you. So when you read something in the law and the prophets, like you have rejected my law, just know that he is referring to the Ruach, is now referring to the messianic instructions or commandments. Matthew 15:10. Matthew 15:10 also. Okay? We are to keep the instructions, the commandments of Yeshua. John 15:10, excuse me. John 15:10 lets us know that we are supposed to keep the commandments of Yeshua, just as Yeshua kept the commandments of his Father, which were what? The Levite commandments or instructions when he walked the earth. But now you and I are to keep the commandments of Messiah, which the Father gave him to give us. Verse 9. As the Father have loved me, so have I loved you. Continue in my love. If you keep my commandments, Yeshua said, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. You see that? even as I kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Okay? So, right there, I'm going to have to cut this lesson short. I had other scriptures I was going to go to, like Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1 and 2. But I wanted to bring that out. So when you read scriptures like Hosea 4:6, just remember. And also we are 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Yes, we are to keep the royal laws of righteousness, which are found in Deuteronomy 4:13. But we're also supposed to keep the words, instructions, sayings of Yeshua as well. Okay? But we are not supposed to keep what you call handwritten ordinances that were handwritten. Okay? But we are supposed to keep the royal, moral, and of course the dietary laws also. We are supposed to keep that as well. Okay? All right. So, Bart Miller, I am putting Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 in context. That's what I'm teaching on. I am bringing 4:6, Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. I am bringing that into context of what it means to us as Israelites that are born under the Messianic or have come under the Messianic priesthood. Okay? Okay. All right. So so this phone is overheating. I'm gonna have to shut this down. But peace and blessings of all of the remnant. Thank you, Connor, for your support, and thank you, Brother Jarvis. Maybe next time we'll get the technicalities worked out, and we can bring you on live. Bring you on so we can hear you. Okay. Shabbat shalom. Peace and blessings, remnant.